Welcome to Flash Editorials for March 31st, 2012. I am Russell Longcore, editor and owner of dumpdc.com. Flash Editorials is presented by www.dumpdc.com. DumpDC is the world leader in secessionist thought. We show people, the world, that secession is the only hope for personal liberty and property rights on this planet. Now you'll notice me as I go through this tonight, I'll be looking down and up and down and up and down and up because I'm reading this off my computer screen because I don't have a teleprompter, but get over it, that's the best it gets here in Poorville. Okay, we got lots of news tonight, we got a lot to talk about, so let's attack this news broadcast like a 17-year-old kid wearing a hoodie attacks a neighborhood watch guy. The Nation, Part 1. It is reported that former Vice President Dick Cheney had a heart transplant this last Saturday. Well, that's not quite true. Yes, he did have heart surgery, but it was to install a heart that he'd never had before. Oh! The Nation, Part 2. Remember John Corzine, head of Goldman Sachs, at one time the governor of New Jersey? He's lately the former president of a company called MF Global. Well, Mr. Corzine said, oh, gee whiz, I don't know anything about the debacle of financial shenanigans that his company got involved in and its bankruptcy. But he was found to have personally placed orders to move billions of dollars out of his own customers' accounts into wildly risky credit default swaps and other really risky investments. And this criminal will not see 1 minute of jail time for his felonious actions. The Nation, Part 3. Did you buy a lottery ticket for the Mega Millions Lotto game for Friday night? The jackpot's estimated at $650 million, an all-time high. Never been that high before, ever. Now, if you tune into this website next week and you find it completely unchanged, you'll know that I won and I quit everything. Well, I guess I could leave a final video saying goodbye. We'll see. The Nation, Part 4. President Barry has been running around making speeches this week about how big oil companies are making huge profits and he wants to take away their tax benefits. Just like a socialist to blame everybody for the shit that he caused. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that Americans are paying north of $4 a gallon for gasoline is that Barry and the Congress borrowed trillions of dollars and then flooded the world with them. America, what you're experiencing is inflation, not obscene corporate profits. When the value of the dollar drops, it takes more dollars to buy the same products and services. All of Washington lies to you, my friends. They caused our economic trouble, and they count on you being too stupid to know the difference. The Nation, Part 5. And here's another stupid thing Obama is saying lately. He keeps telling audiences that the rich have to pay their fair share. I could go on for hours about this, but let me make one point. I'll even concede the high ground of the lexicon and accept the ridiculous concept of fair share, just for a moment. I will pay my fair share as a taxpayer after and only after Washington starts spending its fair share. Spending $1.40 and only taking in $1 is not fair. Borrowing trillions is not fair. And a federal budget running north of $2 trillion a year is not fair. Do you ever hear anybody in Washington talk about real cuts? I mean, real cuts this year? No, you don't. Except for Paul Ryan, and he's not talking about it much. He wants to do it, he wants to balance a budget in like 2040, which is crazy. When DC gets serious about making real spending cuts in current year budgets, then and only then will I come to the table and talk about paying my fair share. The Nation, Part 6. The final Obama story, I swear to God. I don't want to create nausea in you fine viewers and readers. The Supreme Court heard oral arguments for and against Obamacare this week, and many state attorneys general were in attendance, including ours here in Georgia. But this is being handled in the wrong place, folks. No state should come hat in hand to the U.S. Supreme Court and ask for standing and a ruling against the federal government. The state legislatures should pass laws nullifying the Obamacare law in its entirety, with monetary and criminal penalties for feds who try to enforce the law in their state. Oh, I forgot. The state governments have accepted that they are little more than provinces in the kingdom of Washington, and they must bow to their king. There is an old saying, you train people how you want to be treated, even if you do nothing. Apparently the states like being slaves. The Nation, Part 7. Mitt Romney picked up the endorsement this week of globalist former President George Herbert Walker Bush. So the New World Order has started to show its hand as to its chosen candidate. Folks, don't you get it? The election system is rigged. Look at the widespread rampant fraud just in the caucuses and the primaries. If you continue to vote, you are part of the problem, not part of the solution. In international news, Pope Benny spent 3 days in Cuba last week and met briefly with, hard to imagine he's breathing, Fidel Castro. So there they were together, face to face, two despots. One man representing a system whereby human beings are oppressed and impoverished, while their human liberty is stolen by repressive laws, dogmatic rules, and just outright fear. And then there was Fidel. International Part 2. Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, is having a national election soon. The Union Solidarity and Development Party, I love that name, is led by President Thein Sein. The nation has an autocratic president, Sein, a rubber-stamped parliament, and a strong military. Even if the seats in parliament that are up for grabs are won by the opposing party, nothing will really change. That sounds exactly like the United States. The federal government, even the name Union Solidarity and Development Party is like Washington. The federal government is the honeypot for the unions in America, and in the USA, development means fundraising, kind of like the development department of your favorite charity. So it's unions and raising money in D.C. Congratulations, Washington. You're just like a repressive totalitarian regime in Southeast Asia. Or maybe they're just like you. In business news, today's business report is a lesson in trends. Electronics retailer Best Buy is in deep trouble. This week they announced that the company is closing another 50 stores and laying off over 400 employees in management and support. Same-store sales are down over 2%, and they are heading for doom, just like their old competitors, Circuit City and CompUSA. Why? Because lots of shoppers go to the Best Buy stores to test out various electronics and games, and then go to the internet and make their purchases at lower prices. Best Buy is trying to switch from its big box store format to smaller stores in a bid to save the company and maintain profitability. How is this about trends, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Being on the backside of a trend is a ticket to oblivion. Think about all the trends you've seen come and go in your lifetime. Remember leisure suits and disco and vinyl records, and then reel-to-reel tape machines and cassette tapes and urban cowboys and day traders and music on CDs and pagers. You know, it wasn't that long ago, 15 years ago or less, I was carrying a pager, didn't have a phone. Oh, speaking of phones, how about the phones in a bag? Remember those? Or the cell phone that was the size of a brick? Trends are some of the economic bubbles also that America has experienced, like the stock market run-up of the mid-'80s with the Black Monday crash in 1987, the tech boom of the mid-'90s and early 2000s, and the real estate boom that just collapsed in 2006. Now, when a trend is building, it's easy to make money. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer to make money when a wave is cresting. But on the downslope of a trend, lots of people go broke. If you were the best vinyl record manufacturer in America today, who would care? And if you're betting your financial future on a sunset industry, you are in for some rough times ahead. So in business, don't you think it would be best to take advantage of any trend that is gaining momentum rather than losing momentum? Which brings me to tonight's commercial message. Energy is the last industry in North America to deregulate. Think about all the industries that have deregulated in the past 100 years. Shipping, trucking, air travel, long-distance services, the phone companies themselves, and more. When deregulation happens, there's always a massive transfer of wealth from the old monopolies to the new competitors. Companies like UPS, FedEx, Sprint, Verizon, Southwest Airlines, and AirTran. None of them even existed until deregulation happened. And now energy deregulation is sweeping across America. The energy industry is also the biggest industry ever to deregulate, a $500 billion a year giant. The new trend, my friends, is energy deregulation. So here's my question. Do you want to take advantage of a fast-growing trend that will continue growing over the next 20 or 30 years? Every adult that lives indoors pays an energy bill, right? And energy is a non-negotiable, life-essential monthly service. Many people will pay the light bill or the gas bill before they pay the rent, simply because if they don't, the utility company will shut off their service. But you can position yourself so that you get paid a monthly income when hundreds or even thousands of individuals and businesses pay their monthly energy bills. Those visionaries who get in early stand to make fortunes over the coming years. Now, to learn more about my energy business, go to www.masterpieceenergy.com. When you get to the home page, watch that opening video about lifestyle. Only takes a minute or so. Then look to the left, your left, and click on the one that says Defining Moments to learn about a truly recession-proof business. In the economy, the number of actual new unemployment claims under state programs, unadjusted, totaled 319,349 in the week ending March 24th. Now, that was only down 33 jobs from last week. Yet, once again, the Labor Department reported 359,000 new jobless claims. That number is higher than the real number by over 39,000. For an administration that wants to get reelected in November, these bureaucrats certainly haven't forgotten, or they certainly have forgotten how to cook the books to make the economy for Obama look better, haven't they? If they just told the truth. But what was I thinking? The federal government never tells the truth. In sports, the Final Four is Kentucky, Louisville, Ohio State, and Kansas. Who do you like? I like Coach Rick Pitino of Louisville. He's been to the Final Four 6 times with 3 different schools. And Louisville spanked Michigan State to get there. Go Cardinals. Sports number 2. Coaching legend Bill Parcells looks like he's going to be the head coach for the New Orleans Saints for this coming season, replacing Sean Payton, who's been suspended for coaching for a year by the NFL for the role that he played in the Saints' bounty scandal that put price tags on injuring opposing players. Good choice by the Saints. Parcells sure knows how to win, although he wasn't able to put together a winning program as the VP for the Miami Dolphins. Too bad. I love Florida. And in entertainment, the movie The Hunger Games opened on March 23rd and took in $153 million, actually it was $152.5 million in its first weekend. If you want to see a fantastic film that is entirely libertarian in philosophy, go watch this flick. And remember that this book series is wildly popular with teens. So what, you say? Well, that means that the upcoming generation understands that big government's the enemy, and they'll be looking for an alternative. And secession is the answer to all their questions. That's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Russell D. Longcore. For all of us here at Dump DC, which is just me, good night and good luck. Namaste. Dump DC, 6 letters that can change history. Copyright 2012, Russell Longcore. Permission to reprint in whole or in part is gladly granted. providing full credit is given. See ya!